This conference will now be recorded.
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Board of Commissioners meeting for the Lake Stevens Sewer District. It is April 14th, 2022. It is 9 a.m., so we are right on time as usual. This is a in-person and, well, we'll call them hybrid meetings because we do have a virtual wall up there. So if you are joining us by the virtual wall, when we get down to the opportunity for the public forum aspect, you will obviously be given an opportunity to speak if you so desire. So with that being said, we've called it to order. Let's start by doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So again, thank you everybody for joining us this morning. As you can see, if you are watching us from the virtual wall, the Board of Commissioners, all three, myself, Commissioner Lorenzen, Commissioner Wright, and Commissioner Coach present this morning, along with some of our staff. I know we have some that are out, but we thank everybody for joining us this morning. If you're using an electronic version of the draft agenda that we call it draft, though it gets approved here, but we are down at item number 3 in the agenda. And I would look to the fellow commissioners and staff. Is there anything else we need to add, subtract, or?
I'll point out we printed one for you this morning that's slightly different than the one that got emailed to you the other night. Under consent agenda items H, the amount was left off of the one that got emailed, so that's $53,316.10. That's the only change to the agenda.
Okay, perfect. So there is an updated version. If you do want to request a version of it that has that, obviously our office can email one to you. But with that being said, I look to fellow commissioners if we want to entertain a motion to.
I make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Second that.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as amended by staff, indicating under item H they did put the dollar amount in there. So that being said, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we are moving right along. So we're moving down to item number 4. If you're following us this morning, it's the consent. Well, yeah, consent items. I was just looking up that thinking, hey, we just approved something. So these consent agenda items, for those who may not know, are items that the Board of Commissioners have previously reviewed in detail. There's A through J this morning on there listed. So I would look to my fellow commissioners if we want to approve the consent items as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent items A through J.
I second
It
it.
has been first and seconded. With that being said, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And we have done that. So we are now down at public forum. This is an opportunity for anybody who's present, whether you're virtual, in audience, or we've received anything previously through our public representatives out in the front office. So I'll look to staff if we received it. So we've received no public items from anybody just dropping it off, wishing to speak. I'll look to the wall up there. I'm not seeing anybody wave us down or the chat box lighting up like there is something to be said. So I will then look to the audience, and of course we just have staff this morning. There are no citizens present. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and close the public forum aspect of the meeting with nothing from anyone and move on to old business. There are 2 items there under old business, which is number 6. A is the SEPA hearing for the Fagerly annexation, and then B is a resolution following that. So I'll look to staff first.
So this will be the hearing for the SEPA for the Fagerly annexation. This hearing is for a determination of non-significance for the Fagerly annexation. The district issued notices for the annexation and allowed 2 weeks for public comment. The determination of non-significance was posted publicly at the annexation site and other public locations and in the local newspaper. And so then you can go ahead and open the public hearing and take any comment.
Okay, so as presented by staff, we just gave an update in regards to the SEPA aspect for the Fagerly annexation. I'm going to go ahead and open up item A, which is that hearing for public comment. If anybody would like to speak on behalf or against this SEPA that is in front of us at the moment. So I know I have nobody in the audience. I'm going to look to see if you received anything specifically. Nothing came through the customer service aspect of our office from anybody wanting to make comment. So I will look up on the board, the virtual wall, to see if the chat box or anybody is signifying that they'd like to speak in regards to this. And not seeing anybody hit the chat button or wave us down virtually. Go ahead and close the SEPA hearing for the Fagerly annexation. And then we can have
Then we can go to item B.
item B. So
Item B is a resolution of the Board of Commissioners determining the approval of the petition for annexation for the Fagerly annexation and referring the matter to the Boundary Review Board. It documents in the resolution that we have had that public hearing for the SEPA and gives the authority to move it along.
okay. So resolution number 1028 is in front of the Board of Commissioners. I will look to my fellow commissioners if there are any questions, comments, concerns before they may want to entertain a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 1028, Fagerly annexation to go to the Boundary Review Board.
I second it.
So there is a motion and a second to that for resolution number 1028, which is the resolution from the Board of Commissioners for the Lake Stevens Sewer District to approve petition for annexation of an area contiguous to the district known as the Fagerly annexation and referring the matter to the Boundary Review Board, or some may know it as the BRB. So with that being said, I would look, is there any further discussion? Not seeing any come from my fellow commissioners. We'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It has been approved. Thank you, everybody. So we are moving down to item 7. If you're following us this morning, that is the new business. There are a few items on there. It looks like 5. And this one on the back side. Nope, 6. So we're going to start with A under the new business. This is an Extapa pretreatment variance request.
So the district's pretreatment regulations, section F, or 8-F-09.C requires pumping of grease interceptors for food establishments every 3 months, or more frequently if it gets more than 25% by volume in a grease interceptor. Exceptions to the minimum frequency of pumping may be made if the district approves it in writing. So we have Extapa Restaurant that is requesting a variance to the requirement to pump every 3 months. They do have a large interceptor and it's quite costly to get it pumped when they need to. We've included in your packet the last 2 pumping records that they've provided for us, which as you can see is only once per year, even though they're required to every 3 months. They haven't provided those records for us. So staff at this time is recommending that they continue providing records for us every 90 days so that we can monitor what that percentage is that they are getting in their interceptor before approving a longer schedule in between pumpings. So it is recommended by staff to go ahead with this plan to see what their volume is.
Okay. Questions, comments from the rest of the board?
So are we taking action on the request, or are we just talking about enhanced monitoring before we take action on the request?
We can go ahead and take action on the request because it has the conditions of approval within it.
Okay.
That should that 90-day monitoring period that gets extended to 120 provide enough information for the district, they can do it without coming back to the board.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Questions answered?
Question answered.
Any motion?
I'll make a motion, we approve the Extapa pretreatment variance request.
So there's a motion on the floor to approve the Extapa pretreatment variance request with the mentioned, obviously, they have to be able to show the district that they're in compliance. So it isn't something that we're just doing and they're not going to have any follow-up with it. So with that, how about a second? There is a second on the board. Any further discussion on that? Hearing none, I'll go and call for vote. All in favor? Aye.
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 Okay. Thank you. So the next thing up on our new business is item B. It's LIHWAP, authorizing the GM to sign contract with Snohomish County.
At some point when the acronyms get beyond 5 characters, isn't there like a rule or something?
Sure. So this is for the low-income household water assistance program, which is actually a federal program that's administered by the state, the Washington Department of Commerce, and then through our local, which our local representative is Snohomish County. So they received quite a bit of CARES money in order to help customers with their arrearages in both water and wastewater. So this contract is actually a federal agreement that goes between the district and Snohomish County in order to allow our customers that benefit that could be administered by Snohomish County. So the way it works is the customer would then go to Snohomish County, apply, Snohomish County would approve them, and then pay on their behalf to the district. So this contract has been reviewed by legal and is recommended by.
Okay, any questions? Call for a vote or call for a motion? Where we get a vote?
I'll make a motion that we authorize the GM to sign the contracts in Snohomish County, referred to as the HWAP. How do you say?
LIWAP.
LIWAP, okay.
So there is motion on the floor to approve the LIWAP, authorizing the general manager to sign with Snohomish County.
I second it.
So it has been moved and seconded to approve this. If there's no further discussion, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
On this next one, I want you to know that I know what wastewater treatment abbreviation is, just.
Okay, well, we are done item C, so we are at the wastewater treatment plant UV system repair contract to Suez Treatment Solutions, Inc. In the amount, looks like there's a $38,181.63 price tag, but I'm going to look to staff to give us some more information on that.
So this is a service contract related to the UV system down at the plant. So all of our effluent that leaves the plant has to be treated with UV disinfection before it can leave the plant. It's a part of our requirements through Department of Ecology. Our system has been maintained by an outside vendor in a little while. So we have them in earlier. They provided us a quote in order to get the repairs that need to happen to them. If you'll remember last year, we did have a violation when the UV system went off. So this is quite critical to our system down there. So this contract was already included in the budget, so there's no budget additional impact with it. But this would be to have the GM sign this contract and get them in there to make the necessary repairs.
Perfect. Any other questions from?
I did admire the level, the font size on the contract. Even with my readers, it was a little difficult to get through. I guess that's one question. Is there a response time requirement for them? Do we know?
Not really. They're the only vendor available.
They're it.
They're it. So we work on their schedule.
They're a sole source.
We buy them donuts when they're on site. We do what we need to do to.
Yes, we do.
Okay, it's a more of a softer touch program. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Okay. All
There's
right.
no further. How about a motion to approve
I'll
that?
make a motion that we approve the UV system repair contract with Suez Treatment Solutions, Inc. to the tune of $38,131 and it looks like 63 cents. Yes,
31 or 81?
81 and 63 cents.
And authorizing the
And
general
authorizing.
manager.
I second it.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded to approve the wastewater treatment UV system repair with Suez Treatment Solutions. That being said, I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
I have to let the commissioner with better eyesight.
Oh, mine ain't much better. You realize the paperwork is about 4 feet in front of me, so. Okay, let's go ahead and move on down to the wastewater treatment plant centrifuge service maintenance agreement.
With Andrew.
Andrews Separation Inc.
All right.
140,000.
So actually, I'm going to change that to 104,850. Little typo there in your agenda, but make it sound better.
That's a good typo.
Make it sound better for you. So this one, very similarly, we have two centrifuges down at the treatment plant, one to dewater and one to thicken, which is the procedure that we need to do to get our sludge treatable. This contract as well was already included in the budget proposal earlier this year, so no additional budget impact. This is for a 2-year service agreement for them to actually come on site and do the necessary preventative maintenance as well as repairs that are needed for both of those centrifuges.
Perfect. Any questions?
Weren't these are the folks that we shipped it to Texas or
Yeah.
something and had them redo the bearings and they shipped it back, and we thought it was kind of an initial maybe install whatever
Yes,
bearing thing. Okay.
same folks.
Same folks.
Same folks.
And
Only
they,
game in town again.
okay, that's really great. And we didn't have, and did we have a contract with them back then?
Not really.
Okay.
That was a parts and materials type as needed contract.
That's all.
But if there's anything, the font is a little large.
I noticed that. I appreciated it. Yeah, give my acknowledgement to them for that. I'd make a motion, we approve the wastewater treatment plant centrifuge service and maintenance agreement with Andrews Separation Inc. for $104,850.
Second that.
So there is a first and second
And
in.
authorize the GM to sign.
And
Yeah.
I'll allow the GM to sign it too.
First and second for the service agreement with Andrews Separation Inc., authorizing the general manager to sign in the amount of $104,850. If there is no further questions, we'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
You're good. Okay, moving right through this. So we're down to resolution number 1027. If you're following us this morning, it is item E. It's adopting a revised policy for credit card use by the district personnel.
All right. So there was a previous resolution that talked about credit card use by district personnel. That was last updated in 2015, and there's some things that have changed since then. So this resolution increased the credit limits to match what is actually our credit limit for the credit card that we have. It added some more securities to it. Also updated the titles for individuals that are allowed to have credit cards. So this has been reviewed by legal and is recommended by staff.
Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns from the board?
Employees actually have to give the card back upon separation. I think that's a good policy.
That's a
to
good
have in there.
addition.
Whole. Not cutting to pieces, piece by piece. Okay, well, if there's nothing else to be added to that, I would entertain a motion to approve
Make
resolution.
a motion that we approve resolution 1027, adopting a revised policy for credit card use by district personnel.
Okay, so there's a first on the floor and a second in regards to resolution 1027. As we know, that is the resolution from the Board of Commissioners of Lake City Sewer District, Snohomish County, Washington, adopting a revised policy for credit card use by the district personnel. I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. If you flip your handy little dandy agenda over, we're on the back side now because we sort of paper. We are at item F, and that is going to be resolution 1029, which is adopting a revised policy for accessory dwelling units, accessory structures, and fees.
This is updating our policy on accessory dwelling buildings, whether it's dwelling or just an accessory building. It added in a new definition for accessory building, as well as updating the definition for the accessory dwelling unit. It provided a little bit more information on the variance and the side sewer requirements. There was no change in the general facilities charge portion. Section 4, except it clarified which would be receiving a monthly bill. So accessory dwelling units would receive a monthly bill. Accessory structures would not, provided that they are still provide for the same characteristics of a single family residence on the parcel. This one has been reviewed by legal and is recommended by staff.
And the only question, it also falls in line with what we've looked at the city as far as their ADU, because they had a.
So the definition of ADU, we try to mirror, since we have areas of our district that are within Snohomish County, as well as Lake Stevens and Lake Stevens UGA and a little bit of Marysville. All 4 of those entities have different definitions of an ADU. So we also clarified in there that regardless of the land use authority definition, that will go by ours as far as the goes.
Okay, perfect. Any other questions from the board? No. A motion to approve resolution 1029.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 1029, adopting a revised policy for accessory dwelling units.
So there's a motion on the floor to approve that under number 1029. How about a second?
Second.
And there is a second. So any further discussion? We hit this one hard. I'll go ahead and call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Didn't look like 63 pages when I was looking at it, but we went through pretty quick. So thank you. Or 66 pages, I think it was under mine yesterday. So with that, we're moving down to item 8. If you're following us this morning, these are our managers' reports. Generally, it's the A, general manager, and B, the assistant general manager, because our assistant general managers out of the office. I'm going to look for the A and B by the general manager.
Good, got a lot today. So we'll get with the KPIs first. So the general facilities year to date are 40 of those that have been sold. And we have 71 permits. Our Caring by Sharing program has $712.79 in it. That's enough to help 8 families. Plant flows right now are at 2.95 million gallons a day. And the plant's total inorganic nitrogen from March was 10,050. Year to date, that's about 16% of our limit. And you'll notice, wait, Brian, you told us last month it was around there. That's because Ecology has decided to drop January and we start February now. So I don't know if that means we're going February to December this year or February to February. We'll get more clarification on that. But as far as our year-to-date number right now, we're at 16%. So
somebody is probably on vacation, so
I don't know exactly the explanation, but that's fine. We'll keep going with it. All right. So a little bit of bad news. So our treatment plant was broken into on April 1st. We had discovered it on Monday the 4th. So there was damage to our security fence that surrounds the plant itself. We did get somebody in on the 4th to make those repairs for us. And that cost us about $1,000 to make those repairs. When they broke in, they stole our 1999 Mitsubishi flatbed truck that has the crane attached
The little
to it.
4x4 version.
Yes.
That's like mainstay.
But they recovered the vehicle yesterday. So we had it towed last night. They have dropped it in Arlington somewhere, just in a parking lot. So right now we are still waiting exactly for what condition it is in currently. We know it's not great. The crane has some significant damage. It's there, but most of the wiring, I guess, is gone, cabling and such. So we'll see. We have been working with our insurance carrier, WCIA, which has been actually very pleasant experience. At this point, they're estimating that we should recover about $31,000 for the cost of the vehicle, that they'll be scrapping it. So that's good. Very happy that we have them working well with them right now. So there's that. There's also an issue with the plant gate down there, and we don't know if it's related or not, but we're working on getting those repairs. Somehow it is being lifted off of the track that it's on. So we're working on those. Okay, any questions on that one? I'll go on to the next, if not. The next one, okay, lift station 14 was broken into on April 8th. So lift station 14 is over, basically across South Lake Stevens Road from the new police department. Over there behind Tom Thumb. They pushed in to the gate of that lift station, damaged the latch to the side of the panel of the generator, and stole all the cabling and batteries that go to the generator. So that was about $400 worth of damage. We've re-secured the gate, added some additional chain to make it more difficult for entry. And we're still working on better lighting at actually multiple lift stations right now to re-secure those. All right.
So the desire is the cabling or the destruction?
It's the cheapest stuff they can grab to get the next fix, would be my guess.
Yeah, they're just taking it because they'll recycle the copper wire. You know, you steal a $200 battery and turn it in for a $15 core charge. I mean, it doesn't make sense, but when you.
That or you take the acid out.
It's amazing. Yeah, when I saw the pictures of the truck going through the fit, well, I didn't see the truck go through the fence. I saw the tire tracks and the fence going where they stole our. But I thought, yeah, it's unfortunate.
So moving on.
Wait, there's more.
There's more. Okay, so we were just informed this past week. So currently we lease a building from the PUD that's over there up 91st, where we house all of our field operations employees and all the equipment and things. Right now, we've been working with them to try and get a contract for 2022, and we're month to month right now. Looks like they don't really want to sign a contract with us to do that. And they've been telling us, or they've told us now, that we don't expect more than 3 to 4 years left in that building. So it's something we need to think about, where to move that staff, where to move that equipment, whether we, build something additional down at the plant and move them down there, or do we look at land acquisition somewhere else, or whatever the plan is moving forward. That's something we're going to have to start thinking about. The other portion of that is we've been working with Comcast and Snohomish County IT, because we don't have internet over there at the field building, and it's really hindering our ability to get work done, as well as get all the camera data off of the truck and onto the network. So Comcast has now, a few years ago when we looked at it, it was $60,000 to get us internet over at that building, which we rent, and that was like beyond our ability. So we've been using little hotspots from Verizon and trying to do it that way. That kind of works, but it's not great, right? It's like using your phone to try and do business. So now it's about $10,000 in order to get internet there. But now that we're considering maybe not having it for very long, should we, for maybe 3 years of business, spend the money to do the internet to that building, or keep a workaround? So any input was welcome.
How many vehicles do we have that's parked at that facility?
Hey, Brian, I see you're on. Do you have that number, or Paul?
9.
9.
Yep.
Staff.
Paul, 8 staff?
Yes.
8 staff.
We looked at maybe Starlink, Elon Musk.
Satellite stuff, unless it's gotten a lot better, I don't know.
It's supposed to be pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's uploads and down. I know, I've had,
Blue Horizon. Yeah,
I've had that up
the Blue Horizon, the Hughes stuff. That stuff is legit.
yeah, the huge stuff up north of us. Yeah. And they dial it. So, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's something. I mean, obviously, we still have a business operation, and if we're gonna be there 3 years, we still need to operate and make sure that we're connected in every which way. Because about the time we don't do something, it's when we need it. And if it's $10,000 and you're doing it, if we got at least 3 more years out of the place, we're it's still, I think, it's something to put forward into, especially if we're gonna
Definitely
utilize
something to
it.
mull over.
Yeah.
Do we store anything down there other than the vehicles and, having a place for?
Actually, we have a lot of stuff there. It's full.
It's kind of tucked back in there in a way that,
Yeah.
that we're not getting hit by people who, they don't really know, because when you go back there, as you know.
Yeah,
you've
you
never
kind
been
of step
there,
in.
you see the substation there and you think, oh, okay, even those who.
The high voltage really scurries them away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nobody wants to be electrocuted, so, yeah.
All right, I'll just keep going with the
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
news of today. A piece of equipment from the plant called a hopper that's involved in our sludge and dewatering process. We had sent it in for repairs several months ago, and the train it was on coming back derailed, and we lost it for quite a while. It's supposed to be delivered today unscathed, which is good news. So that'll be, bad news turned into good news. We think it's unscathed and we will be installing it today. So that's awesome. All right. More
Look at the
feedback.
packaging.
I know.
It looks like it was stomped on like the old Samsonite commercial.
Okay. We got news this past week. Workforce Snohomish County is assisting 5 of our renters with their accounts that are in arrears for a total of about 59 months worth of back payments. So that'll be about $5,000.
Oh, that's very nice.
Very
Good for
thankful
everybody.
for that.
Yes.
We were awarded a travel and registration grant to attend a risk management conference in the amount of $2,500. So that'll be good, happening this year. We also just got a $500 training scholarship for some training that our human resource generalist took. So that's very good. And then we also heard from DOE this past week that our permit application has officially been accepted. So our NPDES discharge permit expires in October of this year. So they've assured us that now that it's been accepted, even if they don't get to reviewing it in time for a new permit, that we will still be under our existing permit if they don't get it.
Otherwise, we just shut the doors and stop accepting affluent.
That's hard to do.
Right, probably. Okay.
I did attend the Waswood Spring Conference last week, and it was an excellent conference, both in content and in networking, I think. So that's very good. Our cybersecurity audit with the state auditor's office is nearing completion. Our report should be published on April 28th. And then we're required to have a public hearing. So the public hearing should be about May 12th. So we'll get all of that information from them, and we'll get a public report for you. And so that's been a long project that is nearing completion. We also had a meeting just the other day with our L&I reviewer, who is Arch Bright. But we're doing very well, actually quite a bit better than similar reporters to L&I. So our experience rating and our really good history means that this year we really do expect a refund from our retro program that we were in with Waswood. So that check should be coming in July. So that'll be good news. And then we continue to work with Capstone Solar. So the next step for that, for possibly leasing out area of the treatment plant to take solar on. They're working on an MOU and then a contract that we'll be able to present to the board hopefully in the next month or so. And then we continue to work with our CPA on our annual financials, and those are nearing completion. We expect that hopefully in the next couple of weeks. And I really hope that's it. I think that's all I've got for you today.
Good. That's a good report. Thank you. Excellent. Okay. Well, the next one up, city report. You're up, Gene. You're gonna have to meet that. That's a tough one, but
that was a lot. Okay, 2 quick things for you guys. Business as usual here. We did advertise yesterday for a special council meeting today at 4 o'clock. We got a lead that there was a heritage grant out there for new construction of museums. So we put boots to ground real quick and got an application filled out. And we will have that submitted by 5 o'clock today, but it required a resolution of the city council supporting the project. And so we put that special meeting together for 4 o'clock for the sole purpose of passing that resolution. So if you saw that posted on our website, that's what that is about. We didn't want to pass up an opportunity for a grant. The other thing we've been working on is several years ago, the city of Lake Stevens formed a transportation benefit district, known as a TBD. At that time, it was not funded, and for the past several years, councils talked about funding it, but because of competing priorities and fire district and sewer district run-in bond measures, we had chose not to go to the citizens and ask for a funding mechanism at that time. However, we need to fund the TBD and get our road maintenance in order. So this fall on the November ballot, you will see an ask of the citizens to fund that, and that'll be through a sales tax funding mechanism. So in the next few weeks, you'll see a community survey come out to talk about it, and we're putting a lot of effort into that particular campaign to try and get some funding for our street maintenance. So other than that, we're just hoping things dry out at the Costco site so they can get their access road built and get under construction of the actual building. And that's all I have for you.
What's the increase in the sales tax?
0.2%.
Perfect, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Okay, as we move on down, we got commissioners reports. We can start, we'll start at the other end, way down there.
Feeling long-winded today. On the security of the different sites, certainly open to some comprehensive lighting, alarming, videoing, and I know we got like 40 locations that need to be covered, so it's not a trivial exercise. But anyway, happy to. I haven't hung my little video surveillance sign by my favorite pumping station, which is number 2.
Thank you.
There's a Marksman Drive, and it hasn't been hit yet. So I'm happy to help in any way there, but I would certainly be open to ideas on that one because 3 in 1. It's not the first time, and I don't think it'll get any better. So there's that one. The other one was just an update on refreshing where we're on the rate communication. I think we're doing a bill insert. We certainly had it online. We've done the public forum. We've received some feedbacks from community. Anything else on that?
So in their April bill, they will get about a 1/3 flyer insert on that, and those that are on paperless billing will also get an email to them. And it basically has the same information of when we need to do this rate increase and that it's coming effective June 1st.
Okay. All right. And then as far as the PD, sooner the better that we find an alternative. If it's Hartford or if it's, it'd be great if we could keep it in the community, if it's close, but even if we nibble at the edges of Marysville and Snohomish, I mean, we have a wide footprint. We could do something. I'd rather figure that out before we invest more in the location and whatever. And then the last one, did we get any response from our city partners on, other than Gary's, Councilmember Peters Hagen's comment of, hey, we received your letter on trying to stop investing in a legal process? I haven't heard anything back from the letter that you had sent in regards to, hey, can we?
I don't think there was an official response, but I know that we do have an executive session this morning in regards to some potential litigation, and so we'll.
Okay, so we the last time I looked at the numbers, around $500,000. The most expensive sidewalks we did, I think we're up there along South Lake Stevens Road, and I thought it was somewhere around $1,500 a foot, which seems crazy, but doing rock, and it's turned out beautiful. So we got about a football field, about 100 yards of sidewalk that's not in our community. because we can't get our stuff together on the legal front. So that's just, and the bills keep ticking. So that is just a colossal waste of cash. And I'd like a response from that letter. So we can pick that up in executive session. Those are my three.
Okay. Commissioner Wright, do you have anything?
The only thing that I would want to say is echoing what Kevin said about the destruction. So our own business over spring break also was graffitied. And so I feel like I realize that's in Everett, but there's more of that kind of theft and destruction going on that's really not needful. And so I actually think that any little things not little, but things that we can do to prevent that, this kind of crime from happening would be beneficial. That's all I have right now.
Okay. No, and I guess I echo those sentiments. I mean, I know that when I spoke with Mariah a little bit, even on this and that, looking at something if we needed to get, obviously we run $100+ million plant. We don't need it down because somebody decides copper wiring is more important and they strip something out that causes a failure, and that has a domino effect, whether it's at a pump station or not. So, but other than that, thank you for attending the WASWAD conference this last week. I did see some of the stuff. We got kind of a little break from going to a Section 3 meeting because, well, if you weren't there, you didn't get to go, and I wasn't there, and I don't know if you guys went, but it was nice, and it's great to have that representation because I think that WASWAD as a state entity really looks to some of the districts like us and the partners in Sonoma County to really kind of move things forward. So with that, I appreciate everybody's hard work from the staff. I haven't seen a whole lot of us around because we've all been out of town. Got a little sun, maybe too much. Got to learn to use sunscreen. But yeah, with that, I know we are going into an executive session. It is going to be in regards to litigation, potential litigation we've had. There would be no action to follow. I know we have Jordan, our legal counsel, up on the virtual wall, who will give all the little specialty points as regards to the RCW. I would say we would start at 20:30. I'm looking for 5:30. We'll start at 30 minutes. There would be no action to follow this, but we will be coming out and then just going into regular session after that and closing our meeting. So with that being said, I'm going to turn it over to Jordan. Thank you, Jean.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
The Lake Stevens Sewer District Commission will now move into executive session pursuant to RCW 42:30:110, subsection 1, subsection I, to discuss with legal counsel representing the agency matters relating to potential or pending litigation to which the agency is or is likely to become a party. The executive session will conclude at 10:15 a.m. At the conclusion, the commission will adjourn the board meeting with no related announcements or actions taken.
Perfect, thank you. The staff who has the control.
This conference will now be recorded.
Well, good morning again, everybody. It is the Board of Commissioner meeting for Lake Stevens Sewer District. As previously stated, we'd be back in service at 10:15 from the executive session, and again with no decision to follow. It was just an update from legal in regards to potential or litigation. So that's where we're at. So there is no other business to conduct today. So I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Okay, Steph.
Bye.